Hey you guys, it's John here this morning. We are hanging out in the garden doing some projects. We got about half an inch of rain. I just checked, a half an inch of rain last night, well not night, yesterday. And it was really lovely. It rained all day. We were at a job yesterday, so we got really wet, but it was definitely better than it being 110 degrees. It was so hot the day before that, it was really nice having some really good rain here. So we're in the garden. I'll show you guys a few things here, but we have some really fun projects we're planting today. We're planting up some Coleus in some containers and a few other fall goodies. You guys, the fall garden looks so good right now. Oh my gosh. The purple intense celotias are just now starting to bloom. Everything looks so good. Same with the purple, not the purple, the dragon's breath celotia. It's like just putting out their blooms. It's kind of like a candelabra with how they bloom, but they are so pretty. Again, more coxcombs down here. Everything looks so good. The mahogany splendors hibiscus looks so mangled, you guys. In our storm yesterday, these two pots right here flipped over, unfortunately. So we need to figure out if we're going to, we have an extra pot. We might slip this one into another pot, but this big one, we don't have a second big one. So we kind of just put it together. And this is a very temporary solution. We're gonna try to find something, maybe a plastic pot to put this in, but it will grow back. I'm hoping it just like bends back and makes a nice hedge again. We have some containers back in the shade. This is in the back of our property behind the garden. It's a little buried behind this tree, but these are the containers that I would love to plant up with maybe some Coleus. This is a planter under there too, and some more over here. We have a lot of sweet potato vines in here. We had some Coleus in here earlier this summer that did not make it through the entire summer. This is the remnants of that. We have some caladiums that are, I don't know if they're bouncing back from this year or last year, but we just have a lot of pots. They look pretty good. We replaced all the soil in the springtime, so all the soil's really good. We just need to clean them out, tuck in some fresh plants, and enjoy some really good color back here. Shade plants are always a little bit tricky, especially here in zone 9B, Arizona, because a lot of things like begonias and coleus will thrive in the spring and the fall, but don't necessarily love the summer and the winter time. So we find that we are replacing things in the shade container garden a little bit more frequently on like a quarterly basis, just because of the different temperatures they can handle. So we'll put Coleus in here in the spring and in the fall, and then in the winter time we will put in some cyclamen. Those usually do the best for us in the winter time, and actually cyclamen will do pretty good up until it starts to really heat up in like April. So we'll enjoy the cyclamen, and then we'll put in some more begonias and coleus in the springtime. And then in the summertime, it's a little trickier. There's a little less options. The caladiums will survive the summer. Sometimes they will struggle just a little bit. They really do need a lot of shade. So definitely that, and then sweet potato vines, that's really what we grow in the summertime, a lot of in spaces where they're kind of trickier, where they get maybe a lot of shade, it may be like an hour of sunlight. We usually tuck in a ton of sweet potato vines just to kind of fill in that space. But you know, we're really not back here a ton in the summertime, so we just kind of do things that are easy and simple, just to kind of fill the space to make it look not barren. And this tree too, it is absolutely beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. One of the branches broke in a storm earlier this summer up here. We need to get that down. But we don't trim it at all in the summertime, just because this canopy provides so much shade to, one, the plants underneath of it, but just the ground and the grass underneath of it as well. It's just a really pretty weeping tree. This is a Australian bottle tree. I get asked quite a bit what the name of it, but it's a Australian bottle tree. And the shape of it is supposed to look like a bottle, but it's like double trunked, so obviously you're not gonna get like the straight bottle, but it's supposed to make like a, I don't know, I'll put a picture of kind of what the classic bottle tree looks like, but it's supposed to look like a Coke bottle, if you will. So anyways, we did have a little bit years ago. We had woodpecker damage on here, and it seems to be, there's a lot of it up here, oh my gosh. It seems to be kind of recovering from that. I have not heard woodpeckers on this tree in quite some time, but I absolutely love this tree. It is so, so pretty. and it definitely reminds me of like a weeping willow. It's not an actual willow tree, but it reminds me of one. Okay, you guys, we made a stair step bench and I didn't know where to put it. So we put it right here and we put a ton of plants on it and it looks so good. We put the Coleus and some dragon wing red begonias, gorgeous here, and it looks absolutely beautiful. This area is kind of tricky because it gets a awkward amount of sunlight. The sun line is like, I don't know, right here right now, but in the summertime it's like here. So this spot gets full sun in the summer and then full shade basically the other 9 months out of the year. So these are good shade plants for right now. The begonias, the Coleus, they're great for a little color. We love them. You can also do impatiens. Those are good ones. I've planted a lot of New Guinea impatiens in the shade too, and those have done really well for us. So anyways, just a little corner we've been working on. These are some Coleus over here that we are gonna plant up today. The same kinds. This is the Volcanica. This is just a really pretty like red mahogany color. Super pretty. And then the other one that we've been planting, the La Prodigy Avenue, something like that. But just a really pretty serrated leaf, absolutely gorgeous. I think they're gonna go really well together. This one is supposed to be a little bit taller. The tag said 2 to 3 and 2 to 2.5 feet. Sorry, 24 to 30 inches. And then this one's supposed to be 18 to 24. So this one gets a little bit shorter. So we're gonna put this one in the back and this one kind of towards the front, but just a really gorgeous combo. Ugh, I'm obsessed with these. We did have some plants that we planted up with you guys over here and they're filling in so well. Again, more begonias. We have some Coleus. This is the La Prodigy and the redhead, not the redhead, Volcanica. It looks very similar to the redhead, but these look so good, so healthy, just really fall in autumnal. We have some plants back here. This is our kitchen window, so this is a really fun area just to fill up with a lot of seasonal color. And then underneath, we just shoved a bunch of the amaryllis that we had left over. We had them here over the summertime just to protect them in the corner, but we wanted them out of that corner, so we tucked them all in here, and I think they look really good. So love that. We still have a few more over here as well. So anyways, love this little corner. Let's get to planting some Coleus. We got a cup of coffee. If you guys never have used a heated mug before, they changed your life. They really do. I love this heated mug. This one's an Ember, but I'm sure there's other ones on the market. But honestly, just having hot coffee, I love it like really hot. Like I have my coffee at set to 100 and I think 35 is the hottest I could go. That's what it's at. That's what I love. We also need to rake out all of these leaves. A lot of them dropped yesterday in the rainstorm, but honestly, some of them are for over the summertime. We usually leave a lot of the leaves in the summer just because it helps insulate and protect this whole area, the root zone. We'll leave them on the lawn even just to help protect a lot of this from summer heat. That is the biggest detriment. The summer heat is the biggest detriment to really any plant in the summertime. So you're doing anything to kind of help insulate things from the sun, help kind of protect the roots, the trunk. Those are the two like most vulnerable areas. So we like to leave things on the ground. Even though they look a little bit unsightly, we will clean them all up in the fall just to help things throughout the summer. And honestly, it's really hot in the summertime and we try to do the least amount of yard work in the summer because who wants to be out here when it's 100+ degrees? So we like to leave things and then just kind of take care of them in the fall. It's one, protecting the plants, like I said, and it's protecting us. Okay, everything looks so good, you guys. Oh, I'm obsessed with how they turned out, and everything is run on irrigation. We have these going off every day. These have the emitters every 6 inches in them, And these are gonna fill in so good. I mean, we already shoved them in quite close together just because they're not gonna be in here for a long time, maybe like 2 months or so before we switch them out for our winter annuals. So they look really good though. And they're gonna be so pretty for the fall back here. And I do wanna mention, whenever I do choose Coleus to put in these containers, these are technically Coleus that can handle full sun in a much different climates. So we don't put full sun Coleus in full sun, especially in the summertime, but they can handle full sun when it's a little bit cooler. I would say like below 90, preferably like below 80 they can handle full sun. But for the shade location, it gets kind of hit with some morning sun and sometimes maybe a little bit of afternoon sun. So I always pick Coleus that can handle full sun just in case they get a little bit of sun. And when we have them in the containers, they're not gonna, we have them in here in the spring and in the fall, so they're not really gonna get hit with that hot summer sun. Okay, and we have one more area we need to plant with some more Coleus. It is on the side of our house. It gets a weird amount of sunlight too, probably 2 or 3 hours of just that hot afternoon sun, and that's it. And obviously the sun moves throughout the year, so it gets a little bit less sunlight right now, but I'll show you guys the spot. Okay, so this is the area right next to our ancient air conditioner, but look at this cactus. It literally was a little tiny seedling when I moved in here about 6 years ago. Like, it was maybe not even an inch tall, and it has grown this much in the 6 years. I think it's a saguaro. I could be wrong though, I'm not quite sure. I'm not best at cactus identification, but yeah, a cactus just appeared here. So we're gonna probably dig this up. I wanna put it in a container, and I call this my air conditioner cactus. I don't really have a better name for it, but anyways, she's alive and well. So today's goal is to take out some of these pentas, and we have some dead things, some angelonia in here. We had some ivy survive the summer, which I was so surprised that it survived. It looks really good and healthy. And again, it gets like, I want to say like 3 hours of hot afternoon sun, so sometimes it's a weird spot to put things. The pentas actually did quite well all summer. It flowered off and on, not a ton, but the plant survived and looked good for most of the summer, so that's really all I can ask for. So we're gonna take out a lot of these, put some Coleus in here to kind of fill in the spots, and yeah, we have one sweet potato vine that's just wrapped around here. So, and it sits under a tree, which actually provides some shade, but like I said, we get some sun from like that direction. Also passing by a lot of the lisianthus, you can see the blooms that will be happening next year, so we'll trim these back probably in the next couple weeks, all the way back to here. Let's just do it now. And you can see it will branch out and make all of these blooms for next year. Okay, you guys, it looks so good. Oh my gosh. Look how beautiful this is. Ugh, we did the front ones with the Leprotage Avenue. I might be butchering the name. Up here, and then we put the taller Volcanica in the back. But our family room, or our foyer, is this window right here, so we see all of this beautiful planter right here. So this is gonna be so pretty looking inside. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Go. This is our kitchen table, by the way. Isn't it pretty? Just like pumpkins, melons, some pretty flowers from the Arizona Flower Collective. But it is just this way. This window is right over here. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? We do need to clean up the front of this bed. It looks like there's some dead stuff there, but look how beautiful the coleus are. Isn't that gorgeous? And I do love this potting bench in the back there. It's actually really pretty to look at from inside. And I don't know what it is about Coleus, but I've honestly loved them my entire life. I did a lot of growing. I grew a lot of them when I was living in Michigan. I would literally I remember when I was 14, I would go to the nursery because I learned how to propagate. I Googled how to propagate plants. And so I went to the nursery and I was trying to get like, I didn't have any money, obviously. So I was trying to get free cuttings from the nursery. And obviously they're not gonna give me cuttings of Coleus at the nursery for free. Like, what is happening? So I was like, can you please give me some leaves for a project for school? So they literally just gave me Coleus. Like, they were so sweet. They clipped some leaves off and gave me some leaves. Obviously I couldn't propagate it from just the leaf, but anyways, that was so sweet. And I actually started working at that nursery probably a year later. No, 2 years later. I was a little young then, but that was at Telly's Nursery in Troy, Michigan. So anyways, I just always loved Coleus ever since then. And we have one more thing on today's, well, I guess this morning's to-do list. There's things this afternoon, but I need to plant up some Calibrachoa. I planted up a bunch of them earlier on this fall because Calibrachoa are a great flower because they take the heat really, really well, and they, well, I wouldn't say extreme heat, but they can take the warmer temperatures of like the fall. So we love using them, especially like in September when it's still up into the 90s, even 100-degree temperatures. So I loved this one particular variety that I'll show you guys in just a second. So we got more of them. Okay, this is the Calibrachoa that we got more of. This one's called Dracula. Look at that, which is so funny. We have a coxcomb named Dracula too, but I love the magenta color with the raven red coxcomb. So we got some more of those, and I think they're just gonna pair really, really well with all of the other flowers. We have more of them on this bench, but I wanna do this bench too, and that bench with them. So, and I might put some in here. So, cause some of these coxcombs are from earlier this summer, the Brainiac Mad Magenta, and I love this color, but some of them, again, are kind of starting to look rather crummy. So I want something that can take the place of these maybe in a couple weeks when these, I don't know if they're gonna totally bite the bullet, but you know, we gotta have replacements just in case that happens. And if not, we'll just put more of them on the bench. I've been really stuffing the benches full this year. I'll show you guys. I used to just do like a row of them, oh my gosh, here. But now I'm doing like a zigzag so I can fit like 2 more in each row. So that means I can put 10 more plants on here. Okay, well, let's go grab some plants and some pots and some soil. Okay, you guys, we just put them back in the, not the stair step bench, we put them back in this, I guess it's just a back holding bench that we have. This is where we put them when we don't have room for more pots on the stair step bench. And really, we're gonna let them grow out just a little bit more, give them some color, and then we're gonna rearrange some of the things. We need to take off some of the celotias over here because some of them don't look the best. Like some of these, like some of them are looking kind of crummy, and with the weather, the wet weather, some of them are going to be just totally destroyed. And also one more thing, if you're growing Calibrachoa, I would recommend fertilizing them on a consistent basis. They love to be consistently fed. They also love to be, I wouldn't say root bound, but they like to dry out in between watering. So they really do well in these smaller terracotta pots. I wouldn't necessarily put a petunia, although you could grow petunias in these small pots. The Calibrachoa seem to do much better, especially mixed in with the other plants. I think they're just such a lovely touch. And you guys, it's actually starting to rain. There's raindrops. I mean, it rained all day yesterday, so we always welcome the rain. Anyways, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll definitely show you guys the garden, the fall garden. It looks so pretty. We did make a full garden tour earlier this week, so definitely check that out. Full tour of the entire garden. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Fall is just such a gorgeous time, and the weather is finally cooling down. We can start being outside. We also have our live plants available for pre-orders on our website, so definitely check that out. We have so many beautiful cottage garden flowers like foxgloves and delphiniums. We have feverfew and rudbeckia. Wow, it's really starting to rain out here. Available for pre-ordering for later on October and November shipping dates. Our corm sale is also launching next week, so stay tuned for that. We'll have some really pretty ranunculus and anemones, some of our favorite spring blooming flowers. Fall is a great time to plant all of those flowers so they can establish all winter for beautiful spring blooms. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.